Hello and welcome back to another cast brought to you by StarCastTV. I am Nyoken and today we're going to be doing Zero versus Snow. We're going to be on Sylphid, Circuit Breakers, and a new map, Inner Coven. So with that said, our first map is going to be Sylphid. We've got Zero spawning at the top spot and we've got Snow spawning at bottom left. Now Zero really known for the 973 style, and Snow, he's really known for, you know, really good reaver control, really good carrier control. But in one of the previous ASLs, he did, I'm going to say, kind of innovate, going for the Mass Zealot, Mass Templar style, as opposed to seeing the standard Goon follow-up. Now we have been seeing Zergs these days really have started to mix in more lair builds. It's not always 973 these days. So we'll have to see if Zero is going to go for his patented 973, or is he just going to go for the more standard Lair, Scourge, Muta, Hydra follow-up. Now we've got Snow at bottom left. He has gone for a Forge expansion, scouting very quickly with his probe. I think he intercepted the Overlord, so he knows already where Zero is, and in response we've got Zero going for an overpool. He's not going to go for a 12 hatch or a 12 pool or anything like that just yet. Now it could have been in response to seeing this probe coming across so fast, or it might just be his standard opener. And meanwhile, probe just being a little bit annoying. Let's see how much damage he can actually get done. Now these games were actually played before ASL, so the builds that we do have coming in may be a little bit older, and especially on Inner Coven is going to be a little bit older. Now Snow, in response, standard Forge coming in here. He's delayed it a little bit just to get his econ rolling a little bit faster. And ooh, hatchery gets blocked, and this is a pretty big deal. Really want to get down that hatchery as fast as possible. Get out as much larva as possible. Another block! Block, block, block. He's blocking this drone so many times, but finally the hatchery gets up. But a really good block from Snow right there. Now back in Zero's main, we see that he has decided to only build 2 lings. Now I am personally a big fan of the 4-ling follow-up. Maybe not necessarily right now build 4 lings, but once you push this probe out, you can just put 2 lings right here on hold position and they're never ever getting back into your base. Now what is Snow really looking for? He's looking to see when that gas comes down, because Zero really would be putting it down pretty soon. There goes that drone. So it is a standard timing so far. This doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be Lair or Hydras just yet. We'll have to wait and see what Zero decides to go for. Now back on Snow's side of the map, he did put down, I think, this Nexus before the cannon. Regardless, the cannon is up, so the lings are going to be denied. And back in his main, surprisingly, there's no gas just yet. Okay, here we go. There's the gas, comes down. And meanwhile, third hatchery at the mineral only at top right. Everything so far is very standard. Now one thing to note is that this is not at another main, so we're not going for split map style, at least not just yet. So this could just be Zero setting up for the standard 973. We're gonna have to wait and see. And there it is so far. He even shows the Hydra Den. Now at high level, you have to think, is this actually going to be for Hydras, or is this just a fake? So we'll have to wait and see what Zero wants to do with this Hydra Den. I wouldn't be surprised if he just continues to go for it, even though he's shown it. Because that's kind of the ultimate mind game, right? It's like, well, why would I go Hydras if you know it's coming? So let's just get a quick count on the drones so far. He's got 9 in the main, 4 at the natural. Looks like 1's coming up at the natural, or the third base, I mean. So we're going to have to wait and see how many get placed down there. Meanwhile, back at Snow's base, Cybernetics is about halfway done. No lair, remember. So this is going to be fast Hydras. Now, what's the response from Snow going to be? Because we saw people going for straight Citadel often, and he did see the Hydra Den. So he may just go straight Citadel here, or he may actually think that it's a fake and put down a Stargate, but I think that would be a little bit risky to go for that. So I really do expect this to be Citadel, second gateway coming in. Ooh, there is the Stargate. So he does feel like that this is not going to be a hard committal to the Hydras. And if he's able to survive, Overlords are going to be getting melted by the overwhelming Sair count. But that means he's going to have to build so many cannons at the entrance. And Sylphid is not really a map that I think is great for putting down cannons. And if you look at the SimCity here, actually this one pylon being placed right here and the cannon here, there's really not that much area to build cannons. I guess you can put 2 more here, but other than that, how do you actually hold a Hydra bust in this position? Also, the Hydras, they can just range from up here into the mineral line. So this is going to be a bit scary for Snow to hold. Lings are already coming out. More Hydras are coming out too. Now he does see that the Hydras have actually started coming, and now he needs to be worried. And this is actually a big commitment to the Hydras because we've got 7 at the Nat, 2 drones at the 3rd base. How many in the main? 9 at the main. So 1 drone less than usual, and that drone went down to the 4th base to the 4th location to build a hatchery there. So actually, this may not actually be an all-in bust. Zero is just going to go for a standard 9734 follow-up. Only 4 Hydras so far. Meanwhile, Sair is about done. Citadel's about halfway done. 2nd gate, or soon to be single gate, is about to come up. But he desperately needs to start getting out these Templars. He needs to get Storm. He's also at least forced the Forge to not spin at all. I don't know if it got canceled, but this is a big loss for Snow, and he still doesn't know how many Hydras this actually is. 10 Hydras just going to range down this Forge, and honestly, if the Lings went out in front, I think he might actually be able to have killed Snow if he had really committed to this. But as played, the Sair does see that we are just transitioning into a standard follow-up. He's got 6 or 5 hatcheries up. Oh, actually, Zero does go for it. First cannon goes down, but actually, do we just lose here? The Zealots are doing a good job to buffer the damage. Cannon gets focused down. We're down to 3 left. Like I said, luckily for Snow, Zero didn't commit all the way here. This is a lot of Hydras, but he didn't all-in Hydra here. And he got kind of lucky that he didn't just outright die. Because back in the main, we see Zealots, but speed isn't done. I don't see a Templar Archive anywhere. He doesn't even have gas at his natural because he's just trying to live. So really, he could have only gotten out a couple Templars. Meanwhile, back on the other side of the map, it is just continued Hydra production. I guess he is actually all-inning here. Well, all-in is not the right word because now we do have drones finally coming out at all of these hatcheries. But he really committed to this. Now the cannons get up, but this is still, it's only 6. Okay, he's going to try again. Hydra's taking out the first cannon at the top, but losing a lot of Hydras there. The probes and the Zealots did a good job to defend. Now the 3 gateways are done for Snow. Speed is about to finish, but he doesn't really have that many Zealots just yet. But 6 Zealots with cannon support. I think he's about held this off. So I am really worried for Snow going into the mid game now because he needs to start transitioning. Zero already has 4 bases. He's got drones set up at every single base. He's got a 6 hatchery coming up. He's got a good Sim City too. As soon as Snow moves out, we just need to have a couple Sunkens morph, and really all of these bases are locked up. Evolution Chamber even coming in to create an even tighter wall at the 3rd base. The Sair this whole time sees exactly what's going on, and if you're Snow in this point and this game, what are you thinking about actually doing? He's got 6 gates coming up, still no Templar Archive. Why? Because he flat out has really no gas. Finally the assimilator comes down. I'm surprised there's no Templar Archive still, but all he has is 6 gate. That's it. Here he comes. He's got 8 Zealots or 7 Zealots. He should have +1 weapon pretty soon. Okay, he already does have +1 weapon. +1 armor's coming in soon. But I just don't see how we're busting anywhere. Colony coming up at the 4th base. There's no colonies at the 3rd though, so actually Snow might find a window of opportunity to get some damage done. But the Hydra control is magnificent. Picks off 2 Zealots for no Hydras. And now with Lings coming in, this Hydra or this Zealot attack is really going to get shut down. There's no way he can bust through Zealot or bust through Ling Hydras right here. So with this being held, I just don't see how Snow actually gets back into this game. It's 4 base Econ Zerg. We don't have any tech from the Protoss player. He just lost all of his Zealots. Sure, he has 6 Zealot or 6 gate, but where's our actual powerful units? There's none. There's no range. There's no goons at all. Still not even mining gas at his natural. Snow is in big time trouble. And now Zero even has the evolution chamber going. He's got +1 weapon halfway done. He's got his lair done. He's got speed for his overlords coming in. He probably even has lurker upgrade coming. Yeah, we just saw that it completed. And we have literally no tech. Templar Archive is halfway done. 7th gate going up, but unless we get range, unless we get an observer, once lurkers come out, we're just going to be running into a lurker minefield. Still not mining gas. Finally, he puts onto gas here. He does have 700 gas, but we still need way more than that. Now, it looks like Snow may have actually found an opening here. Hydras and Lings. Nope, he's decided that that's not the angle. It is only 8 Zealots, so that is a smart move for him to back off. How many hatcheries do we have? We have 7 hatch Hydra production on 4 base. He's got even supply with the Protoss. Protoss has no tech at all. 8 Zealots here, 6 on the left side, so 14 Zealots versus a Hydra army that's equal in numbers with also lurkers. Meanwhile, a big drone cycle here. All he has to do is make sure he doesn't die to some type of counterattack like this. I'd like to see a lurker morph right here to prevent these Zealots from getting through. It looks like that's what he wants to go for, but he needs the morph. Okay, he lets one through, but that's not bad. He's going to catch all of these Zealots now. Now, meanwhile, the other Zealots have really not gotten anything done. They are just wandering off into no man's land. And still, this is only 8. Well, 8 gates is a lot, but it's still only Zealot. That's it. We have Storm, Observatory just now going up. So that means there's no observers just out yet. So 0, he really just has everything going for him. Looks like we got a drone kill in the main, but we have basically almost perfect saturation across all of our bases. Looks like he's got 7 drones here or so. He's got a decent amount here. He's got a lot there. So 4 base actual near perfect saturation Zerg versus 2 base Protoss who has no tech. He is in trouble. 9th gate coming in. 9 gate on 2 base. Protoss is down in workers. He's down in tech. He's got 3 Templar and they are banking energy. But unless he can get a base pretty soon, I just don't see how Snow actually wins this game. Okay, we've got a small counterattack to mid-right. This might actually turn Zero's entire army around. It is going to turn around. And actually, this Zealot attack really is going to deal a little bit of damage. But still, he needs to get off more Dragoons. We do see the first couple Dragoons coming in. But still, no range just yet. It's about 90% done. Or soon to be 90% done. Now, Snow's army is... I was going to say it is pretty strong, but when you look at it, it's 90% Zealots versus Lurker Hydra. Oh, this is going to get ugly. And also Zerg has +1 weapon already done, an 8th hatchery going up 4-0. Sure, he lost a lot of mining time on mid-right, but this is negligible losses since Protoss doesn't have a 3rd base. Just now, Snow is going to set up for a 3rd base, and to give perspective on this 3rd base timing, sometimes you see Protoss going for a 3rd base at 9:30, maybe 11 minutes. This is a 13-minute Nexus. Zerg up 20 supply with a 12 worker lead. Everything going wrong completely for Protoss. And Protoss also has to worry about a tech switch. So because of that, he's put up a cannon in his main. Oh my gosh, these Zealots are way out of position. Takes a lot of damage for free. But Snow's army is still pretty strong, but he has to have the best engagement of his life. He needs to have all of these storms just blanket everything. And it looks like he's decided now's the time to go. Good storm, hits a decent amount of... Oh, that's not a bad storm, but we need way more. Look at this arc. Look at this actual arc. Oh god, this is suicide. Snow, you gotta turn around, dude. You gotta actually turn around. Okay, he smartly turns around. I don't think he really has much storm left. Okay, it looks like he still has 3 available, but this is so much Zerg. Luckily for him, Zerg is supply block, but here comes Zerg from all angles. He's going to try and collapse on this. A perfect storm, hitting so many Hydras. This is what he needs. So he needs Zerg to be a little bit careless again, but the Lurker field, it's pretty strong. It's got 6 or 7 Lurkers just sitting there. There's no angle for Snow to attack from. I really do think he kind of just has to sit here. But now he's attacking out of position, lose a bunch of Dragoons. That's a massive storm, though. Softening up so many Hydras, killing a few of them. But look at what Zerg has. There's just so many hatches. It's 8 hatch. It's just endless stuff. Sure, Protoss has 9 gate, but we're about to mine out in our main. We're close to mining out in our natural. 3rd base is coming up, so actually the timing of that is pretty nice. Here he comes. So many Lurkers and Hydras in position. Not many storms left. There's 2 more available. All angles of Hydras flooding into the middle of the map. Meanwhile, Snow, half of his army running down into no man's land at the bottom. And I think it's just too much Zerg at this point. The storms are perfect, killing way more than I actually expected. but he focused down almost all of the observers, and without any observer, he's going to have no vision onto these lurkers, which are just dealing catastrophic damage. And now the zealots are gone. Hydras can get onto the back line of the dragoons, and with the dragoons going down too, how do you ever engage these lurkers? Well, he still has a lot of dragoons left over, but he needs to replenish his zealot army. Those were really taking the brunt of the damage from the Hydralisk. Zero coming in with another attack. He's up 20 supply. He knows his advantage. He's got +2 weapon. Protoss has 1/1 only. Hydra's just melting these goons. And just like that, I think Zero just wins this game. He's now cut off the third base. He can just sit here with lurkers, and there's just no chance. GG. So Zero is going to take game 1, and he just crushed it in our first game, absolutely dismantling Snow. Really just completely thrown off by how many Hydras were actually being built, delaying his tech so much. So let's get into game 2 and see how Snow can actually respond here, because that was an actual dismantling from Zero. And that's why Zero is so good. He can hit you with 973, 9734 in this specific scenario. He can hit you with Lair. He can hit you with a whole bunch of stuff. And really, Snow lately, in all the games I've seen, probably within the past 3 or 4 months, has always been this mass zealot style. And at first, I thought that it was going to be a good counter. Or actually, at first, I thought it was a bad counter to Hydra Lurker, because I thought, well, how do you actually kill the lurkers with just mass zealot? But with how many Templars he ends up building, which is generally 6, it is surprisingly good. It reminds me of SK Terran in the sense that the Templars are really your science vessels. But without the second gas going up for him last game, we really were just not able to reach critical mass Templars. You saw him build 3 and they banked up quite a bit of energy, but he needed even more storms. If he had even just 1 or 2 more Templars, I think he was still dead, but he had a better chance of at least securing his third base. Now this time, and this looks like we're going to have a gateway expand, since the probe is staying back to mine. Now this is really not something I see Snow do often. Generally, I see him go for a forge expand almost all the time. So this is going to be a bit of a shakeup, assuming that this is a gateway. And there it is. There is the gateway. Now back on 0 side of the map. We do have the Overlord done. So this could be a hatchery. This could be 12 pool. The fact that the Overlord's going to intercept this probe, maybe. Yeah, it is going to intercept this probe. That this might just be a transition into a 12 pool. Oh no, he went to the center of the map. That's a bit unusual to go this route. This is not Protoss versus Terran or something like that, scouting for proxy. So I'm a bit weirded out what the pattern is for this probe, other than trying to make it be a little sneaky. This may also impact how many zealots he wants to build. I'm not too sure, but if it is cross spawn, he may decide, okay, well, I'm not really going to get much damage done with building like 5, for example. Maybe I only need to build 2 or 3. So that could also be the reasoning here to go for a cross scout initially, to see how many zealots he actually wants to build. Now back on 0 side of the map, we did have, I think, a 12 hatch into the standard pool timing. This could have been an 11 hatch, but I think this is a pretty normal 12 hatch timing. Now the first zealot is out, and it is going to run directly over this Overlord. So he does know what's going on, and he should be prepared. Now, pool is about to finish. We're about 66% of the way done. What does Zero really want to transition into with this opener? More than likely, I would expect to see gas come down pretty soon. Doesn't mean necessarily he's going to go for speed, but I do like the gas follow-up into Lair or speed. Have to wait and see. Probe being a little bit annoying. By a little bit, I mean very annoying. Second zealot coming across the map. The natural still has no defense. Drone tried to buy time, trying to just be annoying with the zealot. You can see he tried to body block it right there, but was not interrupted at all. Good pull on that drone. I think a lot of players would just lose their drone there, not realizing how low it was. Ooh, the probe cannot go down. The probe is so important here. It does so much little damage onto the lings and onto the drones. So it is imperative that Snow keeps this alive as long as possible. I think it gets caught now. Ooh, really good control. Probe barely living, but this has forced out so many lings, and I think eventually it's going to get caught. Now the second zealot, where is it? Did it already get taken out? No, there it is in the main. tries to kill a few Lings. Good control so far, controlling both of them. Look at the control. Saving this Zealot on the left side, meanwhile microing the probe and the other Zealot on the other side. Really good Zealot control from Snow, but good defense from Zero too. Now back on Protoss' side of the map, he does have the Nexus about done. Forge has just really started. It's about halfway done. There's still no gas. Now Zero has a timing to go counterattack here. He's got a lot of Lings and he's continuing to build more. I guess he smells blood in the water because he's just going to go for it. There's really not a lot of defense here. I love the probe placement right next to the gateway. Really hard to target that with the Lings. Now the cannon comes up, and once the cannon gets up, all these Lings that Zero built are going to be kind of useless, so he's on the clock to get something done. If I was Snow at this point, I think we should pull a probe or something. Probe damage really does add up. But here we go. He's going to try and focus down the gateway. Once the gateway goes down, that's a huge hole to fill, but the cannon is almost done. It looks like Snow almost got busted right there, but the Zealot control moving into position to fend off these Lings. But the gateway's down, still a lot of Lings, but I think he's done it. I don't see how this cannon actually falls, and this might just be a quick, easy win. Whoa, actually, I didn't realize we still have more Lings, and we're going to have speed pretty soon. So actually, Snow, he might just lose. With speed Lings in the main, these Lings can run around forever. Also, he built a cybernetics instead of a second cannon. That could be the undoing here. He's going to have to balance where he places these Zealots in key strategic spots. You can see, oh, there's a hole here and here. And Snow, who I thought no way he could hold this or lose this after holding the initial attack, he's going to lose his cannon in the back. Lings on the front side of the Nexus are going to focus that down. Oh, it's so close. The probes are so desperate to fend off these Lings. There's only one Zealot left. The gateway went down. Another cannon goes down. All he has is this cannon in these Zealots, or this one Zealot in these probes, and he's just doing such a good job with the Lings that he's just picking Snow apart. Look at Snow. He's not even basically mining. Once this cannon goes down, we don't have money to build another one. He has to cancel it. If he doesn't cancel it, we can't build another one. We actually can't build one. Oh, 20 health on the cannon. Lings are dealing so much damage. I think he's just done it. I think there's just too many Lings. Cannon does get up though, but probes are falling left and right. The cannon is going to fall too, and that's going to be GG. So Snow is going to lose game 2, and now we're going to go into game 3, and this is going to be Inner Coven. So Zero, I guess he really just wants to end this series, because first game we saw 9-7-3-4 put on a ton of pressure onto Snow, really couldn't keep pace. Then we saw Snow try to put pressure back onto Zero, and Zero just instantly counters with mass Lings. We may see another aggressive game, but this time the map is Inner Coven, a new ASL map. And these games were played before the actual ASL, so we may see a bit of an unorthodox play, at least from what we've seen so far in the current ASL. So let's take a quick look at the actual map. Going towards the center of the map, we have these destructible buildings. I think there's 2 stacked up here. So it is going to take a while for anybody to try and bust through the center of the map. And along the edges, we have Disruption Web, which is a very cool feature here. They're all stacked up in a way where there's no way to actually ever attack here. And they're blocked off by eggs on certain pathways. Also at the natural, we have this turret, which prevents the placing of on-location hatcheries, Nexus, and command centers. Now Zerg doesn't have an issue with this because they can just send their Overlord down here and use the drone to kill it off. But Protoss players, they're going to have to send a probe down here and either build a cannon or just build the Nexus off-center. Now we saw in the current ASL that players have actually ended up going for the off-center Nexus instead of going for something like a one-base play. But because this game was played before the current ASL, they may have initially gone for one base play, and that's exactly what we see from Snow here. So this is a pretty cool thing to see, how the players were playing this map before the actual tournament, what they were initially thinking was the best route to play. And this is going to be one base, most likely Sair, because really you don't ever go for anything other than Sair on one base play. Now this scout, I'm a little bit worried because this makes me think that Snow has never played this map, because he should have known that he can't get through here. So already I'm very worried for Snow. on this map in particular. Now back in Zero's main, he does have a 12 pool with 11 gas is what it looks like. So he's also going for one hatch play. He's going to be going for the very fast Spire, which is going to be a good counter to what Snow is doing. Now, of course, the Sair is still going to be extremely fast. So he's going to have to get something up for defense like the Hydra Den or Evolution Chamber. I'd be very surprised if he goes for some type of Ling Hydra bust, but I guess he would potentially be able to make it there in time. And because of how big the main is, maybe that could work against Protoss that doesn't see it. But the probe has gotten into the main. You can use these minerals to drill on and to go and also use this mineral to drill on. So that's how you actually get into the bases to actually scout to get through those eggs. And Snow sees that this is going to be a one hatch play or a one base play, at least for now. He does see that the natural has just gone up. And luckily for Zero, he got a first scout off, so he sees that Snow is also going for one base. And this is extremely fast Stargate. This has to be a Hydra Den or an Evolution Chamber coming up for Zero. Now luckily for him, he's got a lot of gas, so he does have the option to go for something like a Lurker drop. It doesn't have to necessarily be Scourge. He could go for Lurkers in this scenario, but it's a lot of gas to spend on the Lair, the Spire, drops, Lurker upgrade, and then also to get speed. So I'm kind of leaning towards this just being like a 2-hatch muta play, but it doesn't have to be. Now meanwhile, back on Protoss' side of the map, we've got the Sair coming in. He's already gotten a Dragoon out. Now, what would be the reasoning to build this Dragoon? He knows his Sair is going to be pretty fast. He knows that he can't actually go out and catch this Overlord. So simply by building this one Dragoon, I think we have to be going for a bust. We got to be trying to get through the center of the map, and that is what it looks like we're going to do because we have the second gate coming up. Now back on the other side of the map, we've got the Spire, we've got a Hydra Den, instantly upgrades Lurkers. So this could actually be for drops. Now, like I was saying, there are eggs on the natural. And it looks like the Lings are killing out one of the eggs. So he may try and just plow down these eggs up here. Oh, did I miss the eggs? Oh, no. These eggs. So at the natural of Protoss, he may actually just try and burrow and take down the eggs. But I'm not too sure if actually Lurkers can actually deal damage under Disruption Web. I'm leaning towards they can't. So I'm curious how these Lurkers are actually supposed to work, because we're definitely going Lurkers, and we're so gas starved that I don't think we're going for drop, because drop would be 200. We don't have speed. We're also have to build Scourge to defend off this one Sair. We are taking gas at our Nat though, so this could actually still be for drops. Luckily for Zero, that even if he doesn't go for drop play, he is going for Lurkers, and that's going to counter what Snow is going for, which is a 3-gate even bust through the center of the map. So he really just wants to get in the face of Zero. Now these Hydras are moving towards this top side, so he may actually be going for what I said, which is to morph into Lurkers and try and take down these eggs. But if he can't actually kill off the eggs, I guess he would have to stack the Lurkers on top of each other and try and push through, which would actually be perfect, because if we can get Lurkers into the mineral line, this game's done. There's no Forge, there's no robotics. Now here we go, Zero. He's setting up. Now he's setting up in a very precise way. You can see how he's clicking here. So that makes me think that we're definitely trying to push through these eggs. There's no way that we're trying to burrow here and try and just kill this off. Now, how do you actually push a Lurker through? So I'm thinking you morph one here, okay, or not, morph all 4 of them. I was gonna say, and then use the fat Lurker surrounded by the Hydras to push this one Lurker through. But Snow, he's already through. He's gotten to the center of the map. Sure, he still needs to take down these 2 buildings. And there's no Lurkers here. There's absolutely none. We have 2 Lings, 1 Hydra. We're just gonna have a base trade scenario. This building's gonna go down pretty quickly. Scourge are gonna intercept this Sair, and the Lurkers on morph, and they actually all get through the eggs. So we've got 4 Lurkers on the loose in the main of Protoss, and this game's just done. There's no Forge, there's no robotics. Dragoon's gonna try and hold. Lurkers are gonna burrow. They can't fire! Snow, with a miraculous hold, he's gonna try and reburrow the Lurkers to push them through, but can they actually get through? Regardless, Snow, with one of the most ingenious moves I've ever seen, he gets, all 3 Lurkers actually get through, and the Dragoons weren't able to fire because they were under disruption web. This lurker was extremely low. It should have gone down. And now we've got 2 lurkers in the main. Probes are just going to get blindsided. They have nowhere to go. Meanwhile, back in the main of Zerg, he's got a lot of goons in his base. But he's just going to retreat to his natural, and he can do what he just did with the lurker eggs. He can morph lurker eggs right here. The Dragoons can't fire, and now what does Snow do? Sure, he can take out the main, but we have an up and running base. Meanwhile, Protoss has pulled all of his probes to the center of the map. There's still a lurker in the main just dealing with the nexus and all the buildings. Meanwhile, another lurker has moved to the center. But the Dragoons, what are they doing? They need to get this lurker. Lurker burrows. I don't know if he can actually get into a position to deny this nexus. Actually, he does. What are the Dragoons doing? They're way out of position, and the lurker gets into the perfect spot. And now we have no way to actually kill it. Just instant GG from Snow. Oh my God. The absolute genius play from Zero, and then the miraculous hold up here with the Dragoons to just unfortunately die to just 1 or 2 lurkers behind his mineral line. Ugh, that's heartbreaking, but what an amazing series and an amazing game to end on. So it's going to be Zero taking the series 3-0. Very cool to see how that map has evolved over time. And if you like this cast, make sure you tune into the next cast coming in pretty soon on StarCastTV.